Ladies and gentlemen, the topic at hand is artificial intelligence and the human touch, striking the right balance in customer experience, something that everybody present here is struggling with these days, trying to find a balance between artificial intelligence and the importance and essence of the human touch. Join me as I welcome our panelists. First and foremost, please put your hands together for the head customer experience at PVRINOX Limited, Mr. Indranil Mukherjee. Joining us up next is the head of customer centricity, Hindalco Industries, Aditya Birla Group. Please welcome Ms. Namita Bohara. Head Customer Service, Retail Finance at Hero FinCorp. Joining us on stage is Ms. Anamika Chatterjee. Completing the panel, it's time to welcome the moderator, the Associate Director at Ipsos. Please welcome Mr. Sameer Kapoor. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible at the bank as well. Before we begin, I really want to express my sincerest gratitude to especially the organizers. And in fact, for everybody who's attending today and with us showing up present over here. See, it is exactly your presence that matter and make these conversations truly meaningful, because it shows that we are intent, we are caring for what we are trying to achieve. In fact, this brings me to another point, which is considering a scenario like, for example, we are trying to book a ticket and the overall transaction amount goes for about $10,000. Now, this theme, I hope we will be able to set the context correctly. This transaction is happening over a website and this transaction got faltered. The amount is already deducted from the account. What we are left with now is just a support page, and this support page has a chat options, a chat bot. Now, please think instinctively, what exactly are we thinking at this moment? Are we trying to have a human support, or are we okay with the chat bot? I think we've already made up our mind, because our transaction amount is absolutely hefty, and this is exactly what we are trying to discover today with the panelists that we have, as to how do we strike the right balance between human intervention as well as the AI that's coming up. I would go directly, considering we have limited time, to the panelist, and I'll ask my first question. How is your organization, if I may ask Indranilji first, currently using AI, especially in customer experience space, and what are the things that are working for the organization, and what is it that you think that needs to looked into?
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. So, Sameer, AI is the buzzword currently. Everybody's into AI. So, what I would say is that for us, for the service industry, we're a largest cinema chain in India. We are a fair mix of physical and digital, right? It's a phygital combination, because the cinemas cannot be run by AI. You have to have humans there. Yes, we are adapting AI at the back end, at our contact center operations, digital chatbots. So we have a conversational AI chatbot launched last year, which is giving us good results. We're dabbling in Gen AI solutions, but what I would like to add here is that India, and I'll go back to my previous organization, which is the buzzword right now, Indigo, what they faced currently. When chaos like this with a company like Indigo, with thousands of flights cancelled and customers are trying to reach you, it's AI who does not work there. They still want to get to a human being. It's the airports, it's the humans who's facing the customers. At the contact center, they are just trying to get to an agent. Same with us. So we have AI as a layer to probably, get rid of the mundane queries, what we have. Normal questions like, where is Dhurandhar playing? What show is playing? That's fine. But when customer is stuck in a problem, he needs a human being. So that's where we are trying to build a hybrid model, where it's the AI layer is there, But when it should be intuitive enough that when a customer gets stuck somewhere, it should transfer it to a human agent. So that's where we are doing it. We are progressing. We're probably 20-30%. But yeah, that's a long way ahead of us right now.
Namita, if you can add, especially from the B2B context, because you are primarily doing B2B.
Yeah. So in terms of B2B, our first interface to the customer online would be a CRM. And we are in a process of implementing the Salesforce in the organization. But there are also processes that we've implemented with respect to AI in the process optimization stages, in the production stages, that have actually had a directly impact on the customer. For example, one of our entire set of data that we had, we converted that into a data lake. And based on that, we had a personalized allocation of material for a particular customer. I'm just giving an example here. For example, a customer's machine needs a certain number of parameters to be fulfilled for it to be running smoothly. So without the issue of, getting back into a complaint mode or something like that, what we did was we tried process optimization here at the production stage and ensured that the entire database is filled with all the other customers as well, and that reduced our complaints to 20-30%. We've had AI video, identify problems with their video analytics also, and that also helped us a lot. So these are the things that we've done.
Anamika, especially from the finance side of business, I think it's very interesting.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So what I would want to mention is that being a legacy organization, it is being a little time that we have actually delved into this space. We had started working towards automation and digitizing our processes, but AI is a new inclusion in our existing processes. What I feel is, the kind of product that we are selling our customers, it's a financial product accompanied by huge emotion. Because when we are lending any kind of amount to our customers, whether it is for a two-wheeler loan or for, let's say, a used car loan, all the retail products that I'm talking about, it is accompanied by an emotion that the customer has. Now, any kind of delay in disbursement of the loan, or let's say the loan has been disbursed and the after sales, or let's say the after experience that the customer is reaching to us for, if that is not appropriate, then the customer will not recommend us to his family members or to his friends. Now, Hero being a legacy group, our primary set of customers are those who are taking the two-wheelers, which are Hero motorcycles, right? So when they come to our dealerships, the first interaction that they have is with the dealership guys, not with us as Hero employees directly. Now, whatever sales are being done through them, that actually translates into our CRM. We get to understand that this is the product which has been sold and this is the loan which has been taken by the customer. What happens after that is just an outcome of the experience that has been delivered. Now, let's say if the customer is just asking for a statement, that is a very, very simple kind of query, which does not need a human intervention. It can be given by the automated system. He reaches to our IVR, he reaches to his our app, and he will be given the statement of account. But let's say he wants to close his existing loan. Maybe that statement can be provided by the automated system, but once the payment has been made, the updation of the payment into our systems and the closure of the loan account has to be handled through human channels. And when I talk about human channels, it is not just the experienced team, but in coordination with other backend teams as well. So the overall experience goes and gets translated to the customer.
While you've already covered a very important point that we'll be discussing the next.
Sure.
And I want to bring in Indranil on that. So, especially in this domain of entertainment and high emotions, how exactly is AI, because it's driving convenience that we all agree, how do you balance that empathy, especially when you're dealing with staff which is working at the showroom, at the theaters?
One portion is that, of course, what we said from the customer experience side, we are using AI. The other way you're using AI is to, smoothen out the process for the cinema staff. So let's say I'll give an example. We know we have a legacy of blockbusters coming in. We know what releases is going to come through. Now we are dabbling in AI to understand that, okay, Dhurandhar is releasing on 5th December. What will be my footfall, right? We can kind of predict. We say, let's say 1 crore example. So we can use AI to have our stuffing done at the cinemas properly so that, okay, this movie hall will have this much of footfall. What kind of stuffing I need to beef up for Dhurandhar? That's A. B, food and beverage is a very important business for us. A lot of people, like, always get questioned that why is popcorn so expensive in PVR? We try to find out from our AI that, these are the kind of genre it's playing, what kind of food and beverage they prefer. It's coming. So we curate our menus because of basis that okay, so this movie is playing, let's beef up our hot dog sales or salted popcorns. So that, and stock up in advance so that, there is no untoward situation at the cinema. So one, helping staffing generate more revenues and customer experience. So these are points what we are using and it's showing good results.
Namita ji, while I wanted to ask somewhat similar, but
Yeah.
you've covered already in the first answer.
Yeah.
My concern, which is considering AI is coming up and we are all sometimes scared also as to what's going to happen to us, especially in the B2B context, because people are not really actually familiar with what's happening in the background.
Mhm.
So how your staff, how are your team dealing and maybe addressing those challenges when the AI is basically coming up? Is it sort of they're seeing it as a replacement of their own work, or they're seeing it as a support system? If you can elaborate.
So initially, any response is generally about, oh my God, what is going to happen next? For any change, for that matter. But we do have a lot of training programs in place. We have a lot of modules wherein we go back to the teams saying, because once the employee experience isn't rich, we believe that if the employee experience is not rich, it will translate the similar kind of experience even at the customer level. So it is very important that we equip our team members with all the knowledge of AI and all the news and things that is happening. So obviously the newsletters, the courses, the methodology, the technical trainings and everything part of it, from prompting and how do we go about, how do we generate any image and all. And we also have within ABG, we also have our entire group IT system has come up with fabulous prompting wherein we've used some of the pictures in our campaign strategies as well. So these images were generated via AI, and you can see some of our LinkedIn posts and all, and those posts will have our images generated via AI. So
So you're saying you're keeping them informed so that they are aware of
exactly,
what's happening.
they
and
informed,
they're-
educated, everything.
Now, Anamika ji, you already mentioned this is a very, difficult situation for somebody. I'm talking about somebody's loan not being dispersed. Now, of course, it's a human element required. So how do, one, you handle the situation? So is this already like sort of a system where something's going to happen and you have plan in place, or you, do something else?
Unfortunately, as on date, we have not been proactive in this particular avenue. We are still operating in a reactive manner where we get to know that the disbursement has not happened, and then we try to resolve the issue. Right now, what happens is when you're digitizing the journey, you have to be very, very meticulous of the fact that where exactly the customers are dropping off from your journey. Now we have built a process where these automated bots are there, and in case if the customer is spending more time on a particular page, we are trying to reach out to the customer directly just to nudge him and ask that, is there something that you're trying to seek help for? Can I be of some help? Kind of an pseudo assisted, not a complete assisted journey, but a pseudo assisted journey. And in case if we find that the customer's loan has not been dispersed, of course, he would be reaching out to our contact center trying to get some help. But over there, we have not done complete automation through the bots. We do not want the customer who's trying to get a loan reach out to the bot and then check that what could have gone wrong, because over there is an urgency element. It is not some just random product that we are trying to sell which can wait for a day or two. If somebody is trying to get a loan which has a financial impact on his personal or professional life, the urgency in terms of speed needs to be demonstrated. So over there, the human element is still there. While I talk about the digital, the journey and the bot calling the customer directly comes with the AI and the intervention. I would like to talk one more point over here. As on date, like I just said, that we have not been proactive. We are trying to build something through AI where the customer is able to reach out to us, let's say through a 24/7 timeline. As on date, we have the IVRs, which is trying to solve a portion of the customer query or the inflow of the calls that we have. We're trying to build through the conversational AI so that now there would be a virtual assistant who would be giving all the resolutions for partial queries that we have, so that the customer, even during non-business hours for the organization, can reach out to us and try to get some resolutioning done.
Thank you. And now building on that, Indranil ji, if you divide responsibilities amongst the AI and the human, most human always lead. So how do you respond to that? How do you find that balance of dividing responsibilities between human and AI?
So I would say, one thing I would just start with this. Do you think it's only organizations who are using AI? It's not. Today, I reply to a customer using AI, customer writes back using AI. They'll go put it on ChatGPT, get an answer and reply back to me. So it's becoming an AI versus AI fight currently. So that's what the current scenario is, and all CX professionals will agree to me. So we have to balance it out in that way, that when AI is handling a part of the query, portion, the humans has to kick in when they see that this is not being, it's becoming AI by AI fight. So human has to step in here. So I would say currently the balance would be about 50-50 currently. So 50 AI, 50% human. Where do I see it in the future? It can probably become 70-30, but never 100%. So that's how you strike the balance, that whenever you see that AI person, like Anamika said, is stuck on a page, it nudges it to, and the problem is there. So there where the human steps in when he sees the customer is stuck in a loop. And I'll give an example from my previous organization. There was a customer who wrote a very strong mail to our CEO saying that, what kind of a solution you've put in? There's a bot which does not understand, it speaks like a foreigner speaking, and then he was a Dutch guy. So we listened to that call. This customer was trying to book a wheelchair for his mother and got stuck in a bot in a loop. And the bot didn't let him go forward. Tried to keep him contained. And that was a frustrating moment for someone like, trying to book a wheelchair. So this is where the balance comes in. Get stuck, put it to a human being, solves the problem.
That's very well put. And I'll take you back to the scenario that I created initially about $10,000. I think that's a very fascinating figure that everybody will be rolling. So this brings me to automation. So Namita ji, if you can take this question, over automation, is this a problem, and how exactly we know that we are over automating?
Yeah, so over automation is a problem in certain cases. Obviously, when you use the word over with it. So what happens is, when a customer has had a billing issue or something like that, just giving an example here, where there is no need for the entire thing to be again and again, if he's coming up to the interface and he's trying to get it solved, but it is not happening. Rather, if there is a human element in between, who's just like how Indranil has spoken about it. So when there is a human element and he's into going into a loop of it, so if there is a human intervention, it kind of helps the other person not to get into frustration. And that's where we've ensured that even where things are getting too over automated and too much of it, we realize, okay, how is our customer's journey really going through it? Are we really revising it again and again? Are we seeing the moments of truth there? And is it really a positive or is it a negative? If it is a positive and if it is still going ahead with it, then we're like, fine, okay. So because there are certain times wherein in our existing CRM, we have an option of email, We just need to click on it. There are these set of preset emails. You just need to click on the email button. It goes to the other customer and he gets everything in that particular information in that particular format that we've decided. But if there is something which is going wrong or which he's not understanding, that is where we prefer having a human.
Just to add on to what Namita said, like what AI can help here is that once it's transferring it to a human, it gives you a complete gist of what has been going on. So that helps the human agent also to understand, rather than again asking the same question to the customer, sir, what has happened? Please, can you tell me? This is where the also AI can help the human agent resolve the customer's query. To understand something, the customer is calling you for a reason. He's got stuck somewhere, that something is broken in your journey. Let's smooth it out and move on. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
One thing I
please.
would like to say, adding to what Indranil has said, AI is very good at pattern detection. So if you have a pattern which is being formed, that is where the human can, either enhance it further or break it.
Absolutely. And now, see, another aspect which I feel is especially in today's day and age absolutely important, and that's to do with confidentiality. For example, in finance, how do we ensure AI remains ethical, unbiased, and transparent? And why I'm saying this, especially because we are dealing with a lot of data and its customers' personal information. And obviously, it's relevant for finance and your industry, but I'm very surprised and I'm happy to know that it's relevant for you also.
Yeah.
So I request you to first give your thoughts and maybe we'll take the panelists also.
See, from a data security perspective, we have to be compliant as per the regulator. Our regulators, RBI, and RBI strictly tells that you cannot display any customer information to any third party. Having said that, all the KYCs that we accept from the customers, they are masked in the first place, right? We do not have any detail of the customer being displayed. Second, how we are displaying or exposing that information on the CRM is another level of masking that we
I have just 30 seconds. I want to honestly interject. Actually, this is about an experience that we have just had with an automotive company. Now, somebody bought a car and then gradually they started getting call from a third party. I wanted to interject because we all understand the compliances, the regulatory norms. But how do you handle this particular problem with respect to when you are having vendors who ultimately have access to your data, and how exactly are they dealing with your customers?
That's what I was just mentioning. See, KYC masking is one aspect. Now, when we are dealing with the vendors who are the third party people, as far as customers are concerned, we ensure that all the compliances and the InfoSec policies are adhered to, because how much information is displayed to their system. Let's say we have a contact center. So all the IDs which are non-relevant to Hero domain or Hero entities, they are all whitelisted. Any customer information which is displayed on the CRM, how much information are they getting to see? Is it manual dialing that they're doing, where we are putting the customer phone numbers on their manual keypad? Is that how it's happening? Or is it a auto dial method through which they do not get to know what the number of the customer is, but the dial out is happening? That is how the security and data protection is being done. I just want to touch base on one point which we were discussing earlier. Every organization should be very, very cognizant in understanding how much AI is good for them. What PVR is doing cannot be replicated by Hero. If PVR thinks that 50% or 70% AI can be deployed in their process management, maybe it could be done only 20% for us as a financial institution. The example which Indranil just get, that there's a mega blockbuster movie which is about to be released. AI is doing the prediction that how much staffing should be there, how much footfall would be there of the customers. That all pattern could be done. But like just you question that, do you also face the situation where you get to know that this outage is about to, and you are proactively handling those issues? No, because that situation cannot be handled. As an organization, as a financial institution, we would not be able to understand what kind of loan disbursement would happen, or let's say what kind of technology outage might result into an increased call flow. So for us, automating our processes where it's no more like a bot-based interaction, but more like a virtual agent-based interaction, moving from a 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours window to a 24 hours window. That is what automation would be for us as a financial institution.
I'll just go directly to Indranil ji. I am looking ahead. What is the biggest CX shift that you see in 2026 coming up?
Use AI, again, coming back to the same model, use AI responsibly. Do not go out on all-out automation without testing waters. Do a due diligence first, see, and one point, put the customer first, understand the needs, what the customer wants. Keep that in mind, take your decisions basis that. Do your due diligence for security, what you said, because it's all customer data. And then implement a solution. AI and humans will coexist here. How to use it? That's industry specific, but yes, that's got the biggest shift.
Namita ji, if you have some final thoughts.
Yeah, so AI is definitely, as mentioned, it is going to stay. There are definitely more enhancement in AI with respect to AGI coming up now, making it more humane. And it's very important now that we have more of ethical forms of AI, where AI is not hallucinating, AI is not leading you to do things which are wrong. So yes, that responsible part of AI is very much important.
And Anamika ji, if you have something to add.
I think the example that I just gave you, where the journey is being nudged by humans, over there, when we have these virtual assistant bots, which are giving you same kind of resolution or having a conversation with you just like a human, that is something which would be very, very interesting. And I think that will be coming very soon with most of the organization, because any journey that we take, whether it is a PVR app or a Hero Loan app, or let's say a Swiggy or Zomato, if I'm there on their journey trying to buy anything, or let's say an e-commerce portal, if I'm stuck and I'm getting an automated call that, okay, you're stuck, what is it that you're getting stuck with? I think that nudge would be very important for creating that kind of trust within the customer's mind, and then moving ahead with that service or the product line.
Thank you very much. That was interesting conversation. If I may just summarize with one line, it's the AI which definitely will help us scale, but it's ultimately the human intervention which will help us bring trust. Thank you so much.